All right, guys, welcome back. Here we are Tuesday, just working away at the shop, and all of a sudden an email comes through from Beta at 10:35 a.m. with all new RX models. We're so excited for this. They're dropping some huge news in the two-stroke line. Obviously, the 430 has been here for a couple years. We've had some Supercross guys doing really good on it. And even last weekend at the Outdoor National, I think Benny did really well. I think 11th overall. So haven't watched the motos. We were at the races ourselves. So congrats to Beta on the recent success at the Supercross and Motocross. And the 450 is cool. We've done a lot of videos on it. In fact, Bryn, my pro rider, he'll be here in like an hour and a half. And he's running High Point this weekend. And he has two of our Beta 450 RXs. So we've been testing a lot with him. He's got one bike with full factory Beta suspension. I had Bryce at Beta do full factory for him. So excited for Bryn. He's going to have both bikes this weekend at High Point with him. So wish him luck if you guys are watching live time. You can look for Bryn Steffen. Hopefully he can qualify in. We're really excited for him. He's been putting in a ton of work lately. I'll put some still shots in here of Bryn ripping. It's been awesome. So the big news, we're going to jump right to it, is going to be a 250 two-stroke and a 350 two-stroke. So it's really cool with Beta this year. Already, like usually they'll release something and then the website's pretty far behind it. But right now, their website's already live with these 26 models. So big news for the 250 guys is you can finally race it, right? So the 300 was always kind of in this weird category where AMA has these rules that a 252 stroke competes with the 450s, and it can't be a 251cc two-stroke. So I'm proud of Beta this year for coming out with a 250 version. That way we can compete and have a bike in these classes and not just the open class. So cool for Beta to do a 250 two-stroke. It's been expected and asked for quite a while now. And then the big news is a 350 two-stroke, and you can't see. Oh, maybe you can. That's our KX 500. So maybe the Beta engineers in Italy saw our video of building the KX 500. So what we did is we took an 89 KX 500, fully built it into a two-stroke. We raced it for 24 hours straight, had a lot of fun on it. There's some videos on the channel of us building that bike up and the whole process. So a lot of fun what we did there, but excited for Beta to offer this 350 RX. So it's based off of the 300 Race Edition motor, so it's going to have the twin spark plug head, which is cool. Feedback's been good on that. Some guys have been complaining about following spark plugs, but I think it's just more their warm-up. They just need to get used to how to operate the bike. So it's going to have a twin spark plug head, and I was reading on through here, and I think it's interesting that the final gear ratio is a 1347 stock. So I thought a 47 is a pretty small rear sprocket. So this thing just must have gobs of torque, and I can't wait to ride one. So I don't think there's going to be a dealer meeting this year because Beta usually does every other. So we just went out to California for 25 stuff. So 26, we're probably going to have to order one and ride it. And then the 27s is when we'll go back to a Beta dealer meeting. It's usually every 2 years of Beta. So diving deeper into this 350 two-stroke, let me scroll here. So all new head kind of matches the 300 Race Edition. The cylinder, piston, and power valve, all new. So obviously, with it being a bigger motor, that's really cool. Crankcase, new crankcase, obviously, because it says a wider crank in here, I think is where I read somewhere. So it's pretty cool. The exhaust is all new for both models, so Beta keeps tweaking stuff. It's pretty cool. So back in like 2016, 2017, all this stuff just stayed the same every year. And every year, Beta's making changes now. So when we're ordering parts, we got to be really careful to order exactly for your model year now. In the past, I could have been like, yeah, 17 to 15, the same thing. Not anymore. Every year, stuff is changing. So what's cool with all these models is they're all going to share the same graphics. They're all going to share the same radiators, and it says strengthened radiators. So I don't know. We don't have many problems with radiators. All the guys that race for me, unless we hit trees, we're not having problems with them. So it's cool they're making them stronger for the people that have those concerns. The frame didn't change from last year, so if you rode a 25 at a dealer demo, the frame feel is going to be the same. It went with an aluminum subframe with a dedicated filter box, and I don't have any pictures yet. I was scrolling down. Beta did have some pictures on their website, but I didn't see any specifically of that airbox, so we'll throw some of the pictures in here that I'm looking at on the computer now. And they retained the KYB suspension. Most people love that. It's pretty exciting for those customers. Nissan brakes, front and rear. Non-O-ring chain, I'm not going to brag about that because I don't love, it's not that it's not O-ring chain, but it's usually really weak and we just replace them right away. So every RX that we sell, we recommend customers right away put a brand new chain on it. And I think it's going to continue with the 26 model. So put that chain in a box, save it for whenever you sell the bike, but don't run that chain. It does come with a lithium battery. All of the RX models do. So lithium batteries. And they're doing the X-Trig FlexFit bar mounts. So that's pretty cool. They're going to take away some of that vibration. And the 4-stroke is pretty cool. So we're talking about the 450 RX again here. They're going to be 4 engine maps, which is all new because we haven't seen that before. 4 levels of traction control. So they still have the wet and dry engine map, but it's going to have traction control options: on, off, active with hard map, and then active with soft map. So not really sure what that means. I can't wait to try it. I've never bragged about their wet map or the traction control. I never thought that those did much, but maybe it's just me. I need to spend more time on it and learn it better. So maybe with more options, they're getting it more refined and we'll notice things. That's really cool. It's exciting. So there's no pricing on any of these bikes yet. The whole world's still kind of wondering what tariffs are going to do. So none of the 26s that we've been introduced, we know no pricing. We're just ordering in the dark. So if you guys want a new 350 2-stroke, they're going to sell out really quick. They just are. And being one of the top 3 dealers in the country, hopefully we can get a couple. So 250s, I think the guys are going to love that for the race guys. It's going to be important. Get them into a different class. So really excited about the 250. The 350 RX, really excited to have a big bore 2-stroke like that. I know people are going to want these things. Being an electric start, and it's a factory built bike. It's not us building a KX500. There's the phone. So 350, excited for that guy. And then the 450 RX has just been refined again. So excited for those guys. I got to grab the phone, enjoy the ride, and we'll see you on the trail.